I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. First item on the agenda tonight is the public hearing for the tax levy. I thought we did that last week.
No, this is for the tax levy itself.
Oh, it's the levy. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't have a public hearing.
Does anybody have any questions, concerns, comments regarding this? This just in.
I can't talk about a meeting. Yeah,
Well, it's not hearing anything. I'd move that we close the public hearing.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The hearing stands adjourned. Next item is approval of the Board of Aldermen September 7th meeting, as well as the business session. Wait a minute. That's tonight. We approved
Yeah,
it.
let's do the tax levy.
Oh, okay. Well, it says 27th. It says business session or study session.
This, so we can send it off to get the tax levy there.
Oh, so you have the minutes in the, okay. I thought those were the minutes for the last meeting. So we need to amend that to include Mr. Alderman Fry as the attendee.
Yeah.
All right, you looking at the wrong one again. They don't have the September 21st.
Yeah, this is like, I got filled out after the meeting.
Okay, so we wouldn't want to vote on that right now, right? Because we don't know what it said. So we would approve the September 7th, and then it's,
Yeah.
so is there a motion to approve the September 7th minutes?
I'll move. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, as we discussed at the last meeting, I just wanting to have folks be familiar at least kind of with what the outflow on the cash side is. So you have a sheet that looks like this. It's the bills list. It's basically things that we're largely committed to already, but at least that vote to pay them would affirm that you had some level of awareness. If you got questions, I probably don't know the answer, but we'll find it, or Joe will.
What's this invoice from May that's still not paid?
Which one's that?
FBI-Lita?
That's the one that Chief found in his office.
They just sent it in the mail. It's for a training that Brad Wright went to when he was here.
They just sent
Yeah.
I don't know if it had been sent before, but I just got it this week.
Is the overdue bill on the bottom of page 2, that's due the 30th of last month paid yet?
Which one was that?
The streets, number 25, page 2, next to the last entry.
No, I bet you that'd be 09, so the.
Well, you've got one below it.
Yeah, we got several accounts with,
So like ones with streetlights, isn't it?
one street lights, one buildings, they break it down.
Oh, is that 99,000?
That's why you see there's like 4 accounts on the street department
So
side.
you're telling me that's a typo, it should be 09, 30,
Yeah.
08 there?
Yeah.
You see there's a couple more on the next page too. You see the biggest is water and sewer for the most part, and that's just the cost of the water for reselling over 17,000. What is that Midwest injection, Joe?
That's the sludge.
Okay, we're scheduling that quarterly until we get some else done, okay. Is there a motion to approve the bills list?
Move to pay the bills.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next up, public comments. Committee reports, admin and finance, I've got the balances, so I didn't, when we put the budget together, there was some roll forwards in there just based on what the account balances are. There doesn't look to be any material changes. There might be plus or minus $1,000 here or there, but the aggregate roll forward should be about the same. General fund's currently got 29,000 available, 33,000. The one thing I would ask you to consider, and it's in the budget, so if you want to do it, we can. We don't have to. Is Fund 20, which is this building, currently has 137,000 in it. Our payment is like 90,000. If we paid an extra 20,000, I believe it was, it takes 6 months off the back end of the loan. But
Add that to the current payment.
right.
Yeah,
And
so
so
smart way to do it.
looking at that, we also still, and I think we're just about done with the water meters. We still owe 44,000 on that, so we could also, because it's capital money, we could use it for that. But it's in the budget, and we can spend it if you approve the budget, it's there, and you can spend it. And if we have something else come up that we need to spend it on, we can keep that. That's good for admin and finance, public health and safety.
Nothing.
Park board, I don't see.
I was just gonna mention that we got the pre-construction meeting for the spray park on Tuesday here at City Hall at 10 o'clock.
Coming.
Yeah, this Tuesday coming up.
Tuesday coming is what I meant, the next Tuesday. Right.
Not 10 o'clock here at City Hall, pre-construction meeting.
Planning and zoning.
Nothing.
Uh,
Oh, maybe something?
We will have a planning and zoning meeting on October 9th to discuss that Airbnb possibility. And Alex, our attorney, will be going to that meeting.
Okay. Public works. You have any openings or
Oh, yeah, we have one opening.
fairs and festivals?
They're not here, they're working on a float right now. I know they'd be happy if everybody was able to come to the event, and of course the parade, line starts at 8:30 on Saturday. So that's it, they got a good one planned, so.
Also, Leslie came to our office this afternoon and asked about after 10 o'clock, would it be okay for people to start setting up the ride and stuff?
It's gonna be over there by oh, it's gonna be on the parking lot?
In the parking lot.
Like last year.
Okay.
Because tonight they're gonna close it down, so really they can come down to it, but she was gonna ask permission to.
Any objection? Not taking a motion.
I'm assuming she talked to her. She came to my office this late this afternoon.
Need a motion for that?
I think we get it.
But the businesses are where?
But the town's gonna be shut down.
That's because they're gonna close the street off.
I know that, I just wondering about the.
The festival's tomorrow, so, yeah, they know that they're gonna close it down, but, it won't, I mean, Toscano's not gonna have access anyway, everybody's gonna have to park because they have 7 at noon tomorrow. So,
The hotel's gonna be shut down at noon tomorrow, and then they shut down.
Just ask.
Yeah.
They have no more.
Motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Tell her to go for it. Old business, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the citywide cleanup date. It looks like October 14th is the date in question.
Yeah, Casey called AAA, and that's the only day they got available. So everybody's secured it down.
Do we need a motion or anything on that, or?
Yeah, you can,
Motion to have citywide cleanup on October 14th.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Cleanup on October 14th. Discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a new gateway sign. I think we talked about that. It needs to be built back the way it fell down.
Yeah, you asked to get prices on it. I contacted Mandy Case. He can build a frame and install it for $400. That's labor, that's all materials. And then I talked to, I forget her name, I talked to the art teacher there at Fortis H High School. And she said her students will paint it for free as long as we supply the paint. So that's free. The only thing she asked is if we do a donation so she can take her kids to the Nelson Art Gallery.
A big donation.
Yes.
She didn't know, she said she'd leave it to us. She said all she would be asking is for a donation so she can take her students to Nelson Art Gallery. So I figured,
Well, you know,
The
you
materials-
materials there, find out what the student rate would be and.
yeah, so I figured, you know, we could get this whole thing done for $100,000 easily.
Good.
If you guys want to do it, just make a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Sounds like we got a new sign on the way.
Long time coming.
Okay, new business, bill number 2310, ordinance number 1086, an ordinance establishing the rate on tax levy for the year 2023 to be placed on all property liable for taxation within the city of Buckner for general revenue purposes. And you probably remember, because we go through this every year, it's the Hancock amendment, that the assessment goes up, the mill levy goes down to keep it neutral. So, donation. We would need to suspend the rules.
To suspend the rules for a second reading.
Is there a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of suspending the rules?
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill number 2310, ordinance number 1086, an ordinance establishing the rate on tax levy for the year 2023 to be placed on all property liable for taxation within the city of Buckner, Missouri for general revenue purposes.
Make a motion to approve.
We need a roll call on that, right?
Motion approved, then roll call.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Alderman Fry,
Aye.
Alderman Ross,
Aye.
Alderman Lockout,
Aye.
Alderman Norris.
Aye.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
Next item is bill number 2311, ordinance number 1087, an ordinance adopting the budget for the city of Buckner, Missouri for the fiscal year October 1st of 2023 through September 30th, 2024. Is there a motion to suspend
Move to
rules?
suspend.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Second reading, bill number 2311, ordinance number 1087, an ordinance adopting the budget for the city of Buckner, Missouri for the fiscal year October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Alderman Jones,
Aye.
Alderman Fry,
Aye.
Alderman Ross,
Aye.
Alderman Lockout,
Aye.
Alderman Norris.
Aye.
Alderman Cole.
Aye.
We got a budget for another year?
All we need is money.
Hopefully the revenues come in as well as they're projected. All right, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a Toshiba contract.
We got Jones from the Toshiba.
Toshibans are here.
So basically, it's time to renew your printers and copiers. Every 5 years, you guys sign a 5-year contract with us. Basically, what we're trying to do is reduce your cost by 42%, get you all brand new equipment, take care of your lease, and yeah, we did a walkthrough about 30 days ago, 45 days ago. Met with all the end users, found out what you needed. We've had the pleasure of serving you guys for the last 5 years, and look to do it for another 5.
Dumb question, but what are we currently paying?
So currently, I pulled your last 6 months invoices, and on average, you're paying, for over the last 6 months, you're paying $1,176.91. That's what your average with the overages were. And the new equipment would be $693.83 a month. I've taken a look at your volumes and adjusted your volumes as well.
What was that last figure?
Oh, $693.83.
Why is it approximately half?
Say that again?
Why is it approximately half?
It's about 42%. Your cost per copy goes down, and the new equipment lowers your cost per copy, where older equipment, the cost per copy escalates over time.
Is there an
Any kind
opportunity?
of buyout on the current equipment?
We can buy out on the current equipment, but Toshiba guarantees its parts for 7 to 10 years. We see it in your best interest, just get new equipment. That way we don't have old equipment in the field. You guys aren't down. We're not putting parts in this equipment. It's just best to just put new equipment in there. That's why we've lowered the cost.
That being the case, what would the buyout be?
The buyout's around $9,400. 470 something.
And then I assume there would be some kind of residual service agreement that would.
Correct, on top of that.
Any idea what that would run?
Was it
There was,
210?
yeah, 210 something, I think.
Is that a one-time cost?
No, that's a monthly.
A month.
That gets your toner, parts, labor, everything. And with this program on your new equipment, you get toner, parts, labor, everything's included in that cost.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
was the original budgeted amount for this higher number before on the copier?
Yeah, but I just took the spend for the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So, how much?
Well, if I figure this right, if it's 9,400 approximate, so that's less than 200. No, it's 2,000. Okay.
It's 7 times 12.
You said overages on number of copies per month.
Correct.
How many times will we over?
Ooh, I'd have to take a deep look at it. It's like, you get billed overages every 3 months. So it was like almost every 3 months on your 6-month invoices that I pulled. Every 3 months you were over.
So what we did is we took those overages, so you guys won't be seeing those overages anymore. We went ahead and built those into the contract for you, and that's included in the price.
Yeah, so that's included in the new equipment. Your overages would be covered.
Excuse me, Mayor, but why does the price go up the older it
It's
gets?
an industry standard. You get a cost per copy.
They get more wear on it as they get older. So there's more-
They get older, gas prices go up, we have to pay for, inflation, it's just like everything else.
And like you said, Toshiba honors parts and labor for 8 years. You can get parts on that equipment. I mean, we'll try to get parts as long as we can, but as the equipment ages, we don't want to get into that situation where we can't get parts on a printer and you're stuck. And you're 5 years down right now, so
What's your-
we're kind of looking ahead for you.
Just the first, just looking at it, looks like it's about an 18-month break on, if you buy it out, it's gonna take about 18 months to recoup. Which will put you then about at the end of the life that they were talking about on the support. And then you're still gonna have that 210 that goes on. But at that point, you're kind of, you're saving $400 at that point, assuming nothing breaks.
Right.
It's not covered, because can you even buy we get into year 7 or 8, since they don't generally support it, you couldn't even buy the $210 collar, would that just be toner?
It'd be toner and steel service. I mean, this is pretty typical for most businesses. This is normally what we do, is we go in, we replace everything. So you guys are gonna get all brand new equipment, right? We're gonna take care of your old lease, we'll install everything. You guys have any problems, we have a network of people that will remote into your equipment, fix any issues that you have. And then we have boots on the ground, people that actually come in and fix the equipment. And then our guys will come in every 60, 90 days to try to check on you guys and make sure everything's going smooth.
How many devices do we currently have?
You currently have 12. Two copiers, one Lexmark MFP, which is also fax, and then 9 printers.
Are those printers, how many of those are on the high end on the count? It seemed like I would think other than the one that maybe prints the water bills, wouldn't have that much volume on it.
But a lot of it's not included, that's all printed that we purchase ourselves, it's not included in that list.
Yeah.
So when you said we had some overages, were those principally on the printers or on the copiers, or where were we going?
I would have, it was mainly the copiers and one printer. I just don't remember whose office it was.
It was probably Lori's, because before the new court came, we had to order all that new equipment for it had to be separate from ours. She would print all her stuff from the court cases, documents and warrants and stuff like that. So she was going through quite a bit. Now they got their own printer that we had purchased through the court system. So that should be out.
From a budget standpoint, I mean, we certainly, the 693 is going to be a favorable variance. Does lock us in for 5 years. I'm going to guess that technology is going to still require some kind of hard copies in the future, so whether it's printers or copiers or what have you, it's probably something, I don't think technology's gonna run away from us if we do a 5-year agreement. They're saying for that, and look and see, but 43% sounds about right. So.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any additional discussion?
I didn't get the motion.
Motion to approve.
To approve the agreement with Toshiba.
To go with
The 5-year.
The 5-year, 693. Any other questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Sounds like.
Okay, thank you. We'll follow up with you tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah.
Perfect.
That'd be good.
Thank you for your. Thank you.
Next item, elected officials' comments. I did, Jimmy, you were like Nostradamus. Like the next day, had an email from Doug and Bob Capps, Doug's.
Yeah,
And
I didn't see it, but
October 7th at 5 PM, Heart of God, they will be doing. I checked the email, so I know that that's the date he said. I didn't check my calendar to see what day of the week that is.
So he said Saturday?
It is a Saturday. It's a fundraiser for Christmas, for the Mayor's Christmas tree. And pre-COVID, we generally serve drinks while people had their dinner, and then there's an option, you know, hold up. Here, this is great, how much you give me for it?
yeah, the model.
Yeah, the Vanna Whites.
COVID killed.
We haven't had for the last, what, 3 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, since 19, I think, was.
Now, with that,
It's pretty.
I guess they did it online,
Right.
but this time we're gonna go back to actually have an auctioneer.
All I know is that they said they were doing it on the 17th, and he would like it if the mayor and alderman could participate, but I don't have any details beyond that.
That's a lot, to me, I think it's a lot more fun to do it in what we have rather than doing it online.
Oh, right, yeah, I mean, that would seem.
Didn't the police chief, wasn't there the auctioneer last time?
I remember the last time we actually had a guy who was a professional auctioneer, I think.
Yeah, he
waited
was
his
good,
time, but I
yeah.
don't remember who it was.
Is this a black tie?
Usually a white shirt, black pants, that thing. Some folks wear ties, some people don't. But it's there if you'd like to consider. We don't have to give them an answer tonight. I just said I'd put it out there for folks.
Oh, it's a good time.
I'm good for that, yeah.
I guess October 7th is actually just around the corner.
Yep.
It's for the kids.
Any other officials with comments? Mr. Cole?
I need to see if we can get permission. We're doing trunk or treat on October 29th, which is a Sunday. So we're not impacting any businesses or anything, but I'd like to see if we can do street closures from Washington to Adams, just the cross sections on Hudson. Because the lines go clear pat, almost to 24 highway for trunk or
Better
treat.
than like in other years, didn't we go down to Madison
What did I say?
or something? We said to Adams, which
We went to
would
the-
be maybe.
Oh, yeah,
Madison.
Madison. Yeah, Madison.
Got them 5 kids.
Yeah, Washington.
Where's that?
It's right past the bank.
Didn't the bank have a problem with that last time?
They just don't want us blocking their parking lot.
So
But
the
we can block the
ATM.
street, they can go on the backside.
Okay, well, I just remember him saying something last time.
Well, it's a Sunday, they're not open, so.
No, with the ATM.
The ATM is just as much as you drive.
Yeah.
The ATM.
Yeah, they can get through still, we just don't want people getting ran over at the cross streets.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's always, I appreciate that. And you could bet it's gonna be bigger than it was this time.
Right.
It doubles every year.
Yeah. So, yeah, if we could just get that, that'd be great.
Do we need a motion on that? Might be good to get that record here. So is there a motion to close Hudson between Washington and Madison on October 29th from 5 PM?
It's 3 to 6:37, something like that.
What was the event?
Trunk
Trunk or
or
treat.
trunk or treat,
Oh, okay.
the Halloween one.
So from 3 to 6:30.
Yeah.
So moved, or motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Good, sounds like we'll block the street on the 29th for trunk or treat.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I have one. And I talked to you about prior to this, that there's some buggy they had going over here at Tammy's last week that wasn't approved by the city.
There's no ordinance that proscribing it, I guess.
What about blocking off parking spaces?
I'll defer to the chief on that, I don't know the answer, but I do know that when we checked, there was nothing, as long as they follow the traffic laws, there was nothing against the carriage.
There were just a lot of elderly people complaining how far they had to walk, because their parking spaces normally reserved for them, well, not reserved, but closer to Tuscano's to go eat. They were parked up in the back of the parking lot over there. So there was a lot of grumbling.
Yeah, but I don't know, I know when we checked, there was not an ordinance currently that would prohibit. I don't know, as far as taking multiple parking spots, it might be as a good neighbor, you don't take multiple parking spots, but I guess in the future, if they did it, could they do it down more towards Larkins?
Because I asked them specifically, did you have permission from the city to do this? And they said, oh yeah, we asked.
Well, I think, well, I guess if there's nothing prohibiting it, they would have implicit approval.
Right, but I mean, to tell me that they asked, in fact, they
Yeah,
did.
I mean, I hadn't talked to anybody about it.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't-
I didn't know anything about it until it happened. It was actually over, but
Anything you
Only
think of from a
messages.
parking standpoint, other than just?
I looked at ordinances after the fact. Like I said, I'd heard there was an issue, but I can look into the parking ones. I didn't see anything as far as animals. That's what I looked up, which is they have to follow the same traffic laws as vehicles do.
You know, I talked to Tammy today, this afternoon, and I instructed her next time she wants to do it, maybe she can just have horse carriage in the alleyway, people, because she's got a back door in the gates, and they can go to her business and load up there and take it away.
I don't think that would be a nice compromise if
Yeah.
you could do that. I didn't know what the back of her business, whether,
Yeah, she's got a little door, and she's got a gate that goes right out to the alleyway.
I think the slippery slope is businesses have been violating some things. I know they had what's that thing called, a drinking,
Yeah,
brunch.
the brunching drink, Bloody
Bloody
Marys.
Mary, yeah.
The Bloody Mary event, they were in the street in the front, and that wasn't with permission either. So I think when we allow one business to do it, it gives permission to do, like, allow them all to do it. And that alcohol event was all over downtown. They weren't just contained to the business, or it wasn't fenced in either.
And I did hear something on that, I'm trying to remember, it'd probably be, I can go back and see, because I think Alex or somebody, because that was not under a city ordinance, that was under the state alcohol regulation, so it wasn't really our.
No, I know, but I'm saying that because they were in the street doing that event too. And then naturally, 2 weeks later, Tammy Sue's is doing something similar. So I'm just saying if we either need to maintain structure across the board, or we allow those things to occur with permission or whatever, I think it'd just be good practice for everything to be across the board the same. If we allow one, we should allow all, and if we don't allow one, we shouldn't allow any. That's just my opinion, so.
If it's our jurisdiction.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm not sure, I mean, I can see saying if you got a horse out here and it craps in the street, you want to clean it up, that should be public works' thing, but that's a little different than people getting loaded on Bloody Marys over here. and that-
but if that's a state ordinance, can we enforce that?
It's not cheap, but I'm assuming.
We can enforce part of the liquor laws, but, so, she talked to me about having the ladies' night where they could have their drink and walk in and patronize the other businesses. There was no mention of blocking off or doing things in front of the building or in the street. It was, can somebody have a Bloody Mary or a glass of wine and walk from there to patronize the other businesses, which I didn't see an issue with.
This was a secondary event to the one she originally talked to you about.
I know nothing about the second
Yeah,
one
so she
except
did
for what we
another
talked.
one at the beginning of last month, and then she did another one at the end of last month, 3 weeks later or something like that. Yeah.
There was never any approval to be doing things in the street. It was walk from one business to the other, which I didn't see as an issue, but if they were setting things up in the street, blocking the street.
That's not an
It was like a pop-up tent that was in front of her business.
It could be allowed Grand Valley did the same thing, and Independence used to do the same thing for special occasions and those type of things, but if it's gonna be an issue, then we just have to shut it down.
I didn't know if it was an open container issue.
No, not under that, as long as they came to us for permission first.
And it could be done under the auspices, I guess if we had like our version of First Fridays or something like that, and Second Saturday or whatever, that they could do it.
I think if we had a standard for it, I'd be fine with it. I think the willy-nilly stuff makes me a little uncomfortable because they're taking laws into their own hands and doing things without the board's knowledge, shutting down downtown partially, taking, it's a lot of moving parts, and they're not the only businesses.
My small government conservative is now going to speak. We work for the people don't work for us, and they own this private property around here, and should they have to prevail upon government to use their own property? Or should they be able to use it unless there is a compelling public interest served by restricting that property?
Are you talking about on their property or off? Because the street is public, right?
The sidewalk and stuff, they're responsible for maintaining, so I mean.
But I'm talking about the street.
Yeah, that tent that they had set out, where the parking spaces are. That's
assume
public
that-
domain, I would assume.
I would assume, but I don't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would assume that each business would have a certain amount of spot for the building anyway.
Right, because it would be displacing their consumer.
Yeah.
Right.
Talk about the Toscanos. I mean, certainly we could work on somehow codifying that, we're gonna have, again, and I'm just going with what other towns have done with like their First Friday or whatever, to say if you're gonna do this, try and set up whatever you're gonna do around this. Because to your point, it does, if HCC was going to do some kind of that, I can't remember what they call it, but where they help people get haircuts and teeth cleanings and whatever, they did that. They wouldn't want the street blocked with other things when they were trying to do their event. So if everybody knew that, hey, know that the street's going to be jacked up on the first Sunday of the month or whatever it is. So we could look at doing something, I think. I mean, we can do whatever we can hope to do, but we also want to, I think, keep a culture that wants businesses to locate here and give them an opportunity to come here and shop and spend money and in turn generate tax revenue. So I mean, I think it's how, I don't want it to look like it's punitive because they didn't ask us on the front end that, I didn't ask Dad, so Dad's taking keys. Sort of stuff, but I mean, if there is truly something that we're disrupting the commerce in the area, I mean, it sounds like that perhaps there was people that were truly disadvantaged by the horse thing, that we moved it to the north 2 or 3 spots and let the folks, because, I mean, on any given day, I'm going to suggest that probably Toscano's is the #1 business downtown. Toscano's and the laundromat are probably the 2 most frequented places downtown. But we could have, I guess, bearing in mind again that there's an expense associated with it. We work on drafting an ordinance, the attorneys don't do that for free, but if it's something we feel that we need to really speak to, we could put them on to put something together.
I thought we kind of did with the food trucks. Like, I thought that was part of the parameters that we'd set with events downtown. Was that not including businesses with that? Or is that just food trucks?
That's just food trucks on the truck.
Oh, okay.
And we did establish that, whatever we call it, I think the downtown
Yeah.
business
got some
zone
name
or
for it.
something,
Yeah.
some name for basically from that. But the trunk or treat zone is also covered under that ordinance. And so there might be a way to piggyback on that, within the, for lack of a better term, Buckner Entertainment Zone, these would be kind of the observed norms and how we go about enforcing that. Because that makes it easier for the chief too, so if something pops up on Zoe, it isn't like, well, you allowed it over on Hudson. That is a special commerce zone that you're doing it in.
It just seemed odd that we gave her permission to build the deck out back so she could do these events, and then she's doing it up front. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.
I take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, instead? Thank you, folks.